this is Lindy Gibson, and I'm going to be demonstrating the 4 different types of differentiation, kind of in a synopsis of how I might do it for an English lesson. So I would actually start with process differentiation first, kind of how the students, I guess, process the information they're being given, and how I would use this is introducing my vocabulary words. So what I would do is, for instance, in the book that I picked out, a very short notice, is a Christmas book. So this could be during Christmas time. You can kind of just have a fun day where you're talking about what are the different things that you see of Christmas. Talk about the traditions that the kids have in their class. I would have a vocabulary list of kind of like the main things like Christmas tree and different stuff that you may see during the time of Christmas. And so instead of writing out the words, I would do that, but I'd also draw pictures. Or what I could do is also have my students draw pictures that they think of when they think of Christmas. And we can make a vocabulary chart, but using lots of visuals. Having pictures is probably going to be the most important part, especially for the younger kids that I'm planning on teaching, just because they will be able to connect the words to the visual. And for the second one, I would do for content differentiation, and that would be coming in with the book. And so when you're reading, you can stop and have like date cake. What is a date cake? And then talk about it with your students. You know, that might be something that they've never heard of. And so what are some maybe traditional like cakes or desserts that your family makes for Christmas? And you can have a few kids answer to that. Or the stockings for one. What color stockings do you have? It gives them more visuals and more of their vocabulary in action in a way. For product differentiation, I feel like kind of doing an overall synopsis of how they can use the different vocabulary words in action. We could have them draw more pictures, kind of to show like a scene of like Christmas in their mind. They can write a Christmas story. They could also act it out, just giving different options for your students to show their knowledge of what you're teaching them is just so important, because not all students are going to know how to not all students are going to respond correctly when it comes to writing a story or drawing a picture or acting something out. They're all going to want to do something, and they'll have more connection to it because it's something personal that they're excited about doing. And for environmental differentiation, using that I think is just a general thing when your students are needing to copy something and they're at their desk. If maybe they need a slant board or even a cushion underneath them. When they're reading, allowing your kids to maybe like not sit with the crisscross applesauce, but they're holding on to their knees or sitting on their knees, whatever is comfortable for them. I feel like from what I've seen in observation, some teachers in the past have been you need to sit crisscross applesauce, and a lot of students struggle with that, and in return they start fidgeting and stuff. And so having that flexible seating is so important, because it gets to a point where it can be distraction, but if you make it to where you set the rules in a way that I'm going to let you sit this way, but if it becomes something where you're fidgeting too much, you're going to have to go back. In the past, for example, I saw one student who, when he came to the carpet, he just wasn't able to sit properly on the carpet, and he didn't know how because it was not the right environment he was supposed to be in. And so what the teacher did is she had him actually go back to his seat, and just having that structure of sitting in a seat helped them be able to focus and answer questions throughout the reading and after the reading. And so I think that environmental differentiation is something that in general you need to have when you're teaching your content. Are they sitting in a part of the classroom where they're going to be able to respond great to it? So I loved reading about each of the different 4 differentiations. I actually don't think I knew that differentiation could be so specific in the categories. I kind of thought of it as a general thing, so it was really interesting kind of getting to know the different 4 different types of it, and being able to connect with it and go, oh, that makes sense, I could do that to illustrate that. So that was really cool.